Radio Lawrence.
Hey, you found it. This is the Radio Lawrence podcast where we discuss local art, politics, and community. Thanks for joining us as we host conversations with the people that make up the fabric of our town. All right, this is the inaugural episode of Radio Lawrence.
Radio Lawrence, all right.
First guest this week is international recording sensation, star of stage and screen. Welcome, Wayne Gottstine, to the show.
Hey, thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
So glad to have you here, man. So you got a long and storied career. We'll start, obviously, most well known for your work with Split Lip Rayfield, and you also have the Scroat Belly project that's older than Split Lip, right?
It's like a year older, a couple years older than Split Lip.
And how old were you at the onset of these?
I would say I was 26 when Scroat Belly started playing.
Okay.
And 27 or 27 when Split Lip started. Because I'm 57 now. So 30 years of Split Lip, 31 years of Scroat Belly. And then I have a band before that. There was the Sluggos, there was Winking Spaniard, there was Technicolor Headrush, and probably some other bands.
These are all Wichita bands, right?
They're all Wichita
You're a Wichita
bands.
man.
Yeah.
So that is one of my first questions. You guys, Split Lip, all live here in Lawrence. How'd you get here? Like, did your van break down and you just all decided to stay?
Well, Eric has always lived up here. First, Jeff wandered up here. Oh, I don't know how long ago, maybe 20 years ago. He was the first one to move up here, and then Kirk passed away. He never did live here. I moved up here about 10 years ago. I lived in Kansas City for a year.
You've only lived in Lawrence for 10 years?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. So I'm not a local, really.
But you've been around a little bit. You sing songs about trucks en masse. And
I've been playing that. Well, that's Eric's song, but I've been playing Lawrence since I was 21 years old. So I've always been playing shows here. So I've been around for a while.
Did you ever play at the Outhouse?
I don't believe I've ever played at the Outhouse.
I wondered if that was in your wheelhouse or.
No, I played the Bottleneck a lot, Lucia, and its many other names or whatever it's been. Like Scroat Belly, the first time Scroat Belly played in Lawrence, we played that, and it was Mulligan's or something like that. And it was completely crowded frat bar, lots of frat people. Like there'd be 150 people in there just completely ignoring you. And there'd be like 5 people going, "This is cutting edge rock and roll." So, yeah.
That was Fatso's when I moved to town.
Oh, yeah. It turned into Fatso's.
So Lawrence has kind of claimed you guys as its own as far as I can tell. And when you play a Split Lip show here, there's a lot of people.
It's huge.
Is that the experience everywhere in the country? Is that just what it's like to be you? Or do you really get the hero's welcome here?
Oh, it's the hero's welcome here. I mean, it depends on where we go. We've played big shows all over. You know, we've been fortunate. We played Red Rocks. We've played the Telluride Bluegrass Festival. We played, well, I wasn't at the San Francisco show that one time, but there was a big San Francisco show that we played. We played, you know, big shows in Seattle. Generally, though, when we're traveling around the country and playing regular club shows, I mean, it varies how big the crowd is. But, you know, if we can go to Seattle and put 200 people in the Tractor Tavern, that's pretty good. You know, the West Coast, 200 people at a show or whatever. But we've had great festival shows in Oregon. I can't remember the name of the festival, but we played this incredible festival. It was this weird, on a hill. We were playing down at the bottom of this hill, and the people were just on top of you. And there were like 1,000 of them. It was an incredible night. I can't remember where it was. String Summit, maybe? Maybe it was String Summit. We played there a couple times with Yonder Mountain and various bands like that.
You ever see anything really wild happen at these shows?
Never. I've never seen anything wild happen. Nobody's ever brought a donkey to the show, anything like that. There's never been any dog fights at the show. There's never been a shirtless lady boob fight. Never, none of those kind of things have happened.
A nice, wholesome, pious life
Yes.
you lead.
Like when we get done with the show, we would immediately go back to the motel, and a lot of those motels have those Bibles. You know, we crack the
Gideon,
Bibles and we would read scripture to each other. You know,
That's really great. I'm glad that you guys have, something to lean into.
really,
there.
yeah. There was nobody ever pulled out any big bags of cocaine or no
Thank
moonshine. There was no moonshine. There was no cocaine. There was certainly in those early days, there was no marijuana on the West Coast. None of those special growers. None of those guys gave us huge bags. So, yeah, we just would go home and go to the hotel and read the Bible and stuff.
That's good. Yeah. I'm glad that you keep it, healthy and wholesome.
Yeah.
So I put myself into the position of biggest Split Lip Rayfield fan in the world for the last month. Since you agreed to do this, I was like, all right, I'm gonna really dig in here and try to come up with something that throws him for a loop. And Spotify told me the other day that I was in the top 1% of Split Lip listeners last month.
Damn.
So that's you guys have 20,000 listeners monthly.
Oh, that's fantastic.
I don't know if you're aware of that.
I'm not aware of that.
That's a lot of people, man. So I was in my research, I found that in 2008, it was a few years ago now, you guys did the music for this episode of a really weird cartoon called Squidbillies.
Oh, yeah, we did a couple episodes.
I saw the one, I can't, the title of the show was really long. It was called The Devil Goes Down to a Small Southern Town called...
Yeah, visits Mephistophelies. Rusty sells a soul to the devil.
Yes.
That one. Yeah, and the badass guitar player in that is, I can't remember his name right now. He is from that dang rock and roll cartoon with the heavy metal guitar.
Metalocalypse?
Metalocalypse, yes.
Brendan Small.
Yes.
Sorry, I was just watching Lawrence Arms last weekend.
He's also in that.
Okay.
The guitar, all the badass guitar playing is him.
Did you meet him? You know him?
No, we just did it through the studio and emailed it and everything.
He's a really talented
He's a great
guitar
player. Yeah.
I loved the home movies show that he did. There was a lot of guitar playing in that too. But what was the experience like for Squidbillies versus making a studio record? Was it same kind of thing? Just go to
it was
the studio?
very fast. The guy emailed me and he said, we need these songs tomorrow. I was like, okay. And so those two were just instrumentals. So I wrote both of those and just whipped them out real fast. And we went into my friend's studio and we recorded it in just an hour and a half because they're only 30 seconds long. Yeah. There was a slow outro thing that we did, and then there was a fast jam in the middle. And they're only 45 seconds and 30 seconds. So it didn't take very long. And then we just emailed them, and that was that. I maybe talked to him on the phone a little bit. Then we did another one where Rusty joins Al-Qaeda.
Okay, I did not see that one.
And that one I sing in. And that one's got Jackal, Gillian Welch. It's star-studded. And then us, right? And I am Al-Qaeda. When you see it, I start going, if you find it so alarming that we started global warming because we did it. And so I've got a machine gun. I'm Al-Qaeda.
It's pretty badass.
It's crazy. So you're going to want to watch that one. But that was also very similar. And I talked to him over the phone working that one. He had written all the lyrics
for the Al-Qaeda song.
For the Al-Qaeda song, and he wanted me to write the music for it. And so I did. And it was it has to be 51 seconds long. And so
because the animation's already done and
the animation's already done, you got 51 seconds. And so he sends me these lyrics, and I was like, the only way that these lyrics are going to fit in 51 seconds is if I'm burning it. And he's like, let's burn it.
You're no stranger to that, right?
So we burned it, wrote this super fast version of it. And then we went to the studio. Jeff and Eric, they were both up in Lawrence at that time. I was still down in Wichita. They came down. We did it in an hour and a half. And there it was.
That's awesome. That's a really fun experience.
It was fun, but we didn't go there. We didn't meet anybody. It was just all through email and our home studio.
The miracle of technology.
Or not our home studio, but a different studio.
When people hear this, they're going to believe that you and I are like in the same room, sitting across the table from each other. But
actually,
I'm in San Diego.
Yeah, and I'm in New York.
Crazy, a crazy world that we live in.
That is crazy.
So you've been at this. You've been at this quite a while now. 30 years is a long time to be, prominently in the community as a musician. Have you ever written anything that in retrospect you're like, wow, I might have done this differently if I'd known I was going to be singing it for the rest of my life?
Not really. If I didn't like it, I'd just change it.
Yeah.
So I don't really stress too much about how a song is after it's done. When it's done, it's done. That's what the song is. That's just how I was able to capture it. And if I don't like it, then I just won't play it. But
you ever reflect on the positive connection that you have with your younger self through this body of work? It's like, wow, I used to feel that way. I used to be that guy.
That's a good question. Yes, I do. I do think that sometimes I think, where did this come from? Like, what was I thinking? But usually my songs are pretty straightforward, and even if I wrote it at the time and didn't realize it was about maybe my life or whatever, like now in retrospect, I can look at those songs and be like, well, yeah. Yeah.
That's a deep thought. I never really considered the aspect of, I didn't even know what that was about until I gained the perspective to see it.
Because sometimes you start with a line. You start with one line of a song, and it needs to be, the next line needs to be the truth, but also it needs to have the right amount of syllables, and it needs to rhyme. So once you start into that, your initial idea can change by the time you're at the end of the song, just because of the mechanics of songwriting.
And do you typically work that way? Like you start out with a lyric that you may have melody for, and then you put music to that? Or do
Absolutely.
You start out with music and say, okay, I'm going to write words that go to this, or both?
It's a little bit of both, but mostly it comes from one phrase. Like I'll start with one phrase. And I just went through this recently this week. 15 years ago, I came up with the phrase, me and my friend Jake, my late friend Jake Euchre, got drunk, fell down, broke my heart.
It's a good one.
It's silly. It sounds silly. 15 years later, just the other day, because I have all my songwriting accoutrement spread out in the area in which I deem possible to catch these songs at my house right now. It's like, I don't like anybody sitting there. I don't want people messing around that area. But
that's your sanctum.
That's my little area. And then I sat down there, and after 15 years of toiling with this stupid, got drunk, fell down, broke my heart, I wrote maybe the best drinking song I ever wrote in like 5 minutes. Just 15 years of waiting, and then all of a sudden, 5 minutes of execution. And now, and it's not a big scribbler either. It's just like everything I wrote, I kept. I was like, okay. And so I'm super happy with that, because sometimes you think, well, society likes to equate creativity and with youth, and so you're often not thinking about older people. Yeah, I'm older people now. I'm 57 writing, but I have so much more perspective than I did when I was 27, and the songs I was writing 30 years ago. And now I'm much fussier about what I write down.
Because you're going to have to live with it for the
I'm
next
going to have to
years.
live with it. Well, not as long as those ones. I won't have to live with them as long, but I am fussier, and the things that I want to convey need to be more concise, need to be more mature, need to be of a larger perspective.
distinguished drinking songs.
Distinguished drinking songs, yes.
That's a commonality that I hear when I read through. I'm a big music nerd, and something that I always see my heroes talk about is a song that just kind of fell out of the sky and hit them on the head, and that ends up being their banner song, where it's like, oh, that took 4.5 minutes to write.
It's crazy. It's like you catch them with a butterfly catcher or something.
Do you feel that happens more now that you're experienced and you know what you're looking for, or is that a folly of youth?
It's writing when you're young compared to writing when you're older. That's a good point. It's a good direction. When you're young, you think you know it all, right? You think you know everything. And so it's just easy to spit out what you think you know into the song. I know this. I know all about this. And then you just write it down and you have these songs just like that. When Kirk and I were putting together Scroat Belly and the early years of Split Lip, we wrote so many songs that never saw the light of day just because we would just write them. And that's the beauty of writing when you're young, because you could just let it all flow and you let it all go. When you get older, then you're much more critical of the things that you say, and you're much more critical of how these phrases, these words, these actions, and these thoughts affect the people around you, or how the people around you affect these thoughts, or how, everything. You think a little bit more outside of yourself rather than when you're 25, the world is still all about you, But when you're 55, you know that the world is not. The world will just keep moving right along without you. It doesn't need you.
And it's hard to write a song about a fight with your wife when you got to sit down and eat dinner with her too, right? And she's like, I heard what you said.
Yeah, exactly.
I heard you in there singing that damn song.
Exactly. You have to handle the rest of the world with tact, with kindness.
I'm a big fan of Billy Joel, and we just watched the Billy Joel documentary, and he was talking about with his first wife. He's writing all these songs, and he's talking about like the stories that go with them. He's like, well, this happened, and then I wrote that song, and I'm like, wow, you were really just sitting in the other room, just banging on a piano, singing about how awful your wife is, and I guess if the song,
the first wife.
well, if the song makes $1 million, it's a lot cooler. I think it's probably easier to swallow than like, you motherfucker, you went out to the replay and sang that song about how terrible I am for 15 people. Really threw me under the bus.
Yeah.
Uh-oh, here's
Hello,
this guy.
Kitty. I know all about you.
This is the friendly house cat, Sancho. He loves when people come over, and he loves to interact, but he will bite you. So just be aware of that.
Oh, yeah.
Anyways, can we get deep for a minute?
Sure.
You've had some health issues recently.
Oh, yeah.
What's going on?
Well, let's see. 5 years ago, I was diagnosed with stage 4 lung cancer and kidney cancer. And so first I did a bunch of chemo and a bunch of radiation the first year, beat the shit out of me. And then I did 2 years of immunotherapy, which is like chemo light. And then they took me off that because, insurance decide how much medicine you need.
Yeah, absolutely.
So anyway, my cancer came back, and then I had my lung removed a year ago.
It's been a year.
It's been December 16th. It will be a year.
And how are you now?
I am in a lot of ways really good. I'm super crazy. When they open you up for a big major surgery, and this was like a 7-hour surgery, a lot of your magic oozes out or flies out. I don't know. I was asleep. So
you didn't see what it looked like.
I didn't see what happened, but a lot of magic escaped. But they broke my ribs and they cut this bit and just peeled it apart. It was rough.
Sounds pretty rough.
It's been a rough recovery. Like my lat muscle was severed. I can't pull things. Like my days in MMA fighting probably over.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Probably not going to play football anymore. But I'm alive. And so far, there's no evidence of disease. I go do a lot of scans and a lot of labs. I'm under constant scrutiny for the next couple of years, but everything's looking pretty good right now. I'm just
great.
Adjusting to this new, slightly mangled body, but I'm alive and I'm grateful. And
there you go, man. Well, I'm really glad to hear that it's all coming up in your favor. And I can't imagine the terror.
Oh, it's tough. I've, because I am a minor league rock star and a lot of people know me, I've assembled this cancer team, of like all the people, we all have cancer, and, we just share as much positivity as we can. But I have lost several members since this has started, and that's, it's a pretty rough game. It's a pretty rough game, and I'm pretty lucky and grateful to, make it this far.
I'm sure it really drives home the severity of the matter when one of your support group is no longer supporting.
Yeah.
That's just
lost some really good people over the past year. And, cancer seems to be just popping up everywhere. Lots of people are getting cancer. It's this toxic world that we live in. So anyway, go to the doctor when you can.
And so
make sure you get your tests.
Right. And so that's, I have to assume, why you took the job at Dillon's.
Yeah, so that I could, but with the threat, I was kind of crazy. I was super crazy. All this news all the time is like really grim, like we're taking away your insurance, you bastards, and all that. And as an independent musician who's self-employed, it's not just musicians, but there are a lot of self-employed people who count on the Affordable Care Act, and we're not getting affordable insurance through that anyway, but, it's at least something. But so anyway, I thought I would go work at the grocery store, and but it was intense, and I still have this broken side over there and moving all this stuff, and I was like, I'll just book more shows. That's what I'll do. I'll just book more shows. I can sing. I have this voice for a reason. I know I'm not going to be some giant rock star at this point in my life, but I can still go and do my little shows that I enjoy. I like playing small shows to nice, intimate crowds. Where
you played right over there in our living room. It was a great time.
And that was super fun. I love doing that stuff. I love house shows. I have a good house show that I've been doing in Lincoln, Nebraska. I've got house shows in Wichita coming up. I've got all sorts of super fun stuff.
I think this would be a fine time to throw in a shameless plug. How would somebody contact you if they wanted you to come and play at their house party?
It's so easy. It's just Wayne Gottstine at gmail.com. And you can find me on the internet so easily because there's only one Wayne Gottstine on the entire internet.
We're gonna talk about your presence on the internet here. So I'm not nearly as big a fan of the short videos as Stella is. She really likes those little reels.
Yeah.
But whenever you put one out, it never ceases to make me laugh. Like you've got a real knack for the 15-second video. I think my favorite one is when you're in the grocery store and you say, Wayne Gottstine here for Anderson Bakery. Put a cupcake in your mouth and shut the fuck up.
That was a big hit.
I laugh about it still. I've looked for it on your page and I can't find it. It's gotten buried. I'm going to need you to send me that for when I'm like feeling down.
That comes around in my internet memories like every year, like maybe in November or something. So every year I'll repost it.
I'll keep an eye out. That's a good one. I really enjoyed your tour through the car show in Wichita where every car is, this is my favorite car.
Man, just everyone was my favorite. If you should go to a car show in Wichita, Kansas. Some of the best cars in the country are in Wichita, Kansas.
I'll have to make
They call it Custom City for a reason.
I don't know if you're messing with me now.
I'm not messing with you at all. I'm not messing with y'all. But back to the short videos. One thing I've noticed about people, since I didn't used to have an internet presence at all. Like before I had cancer, I did not do the internet. Like I'll do a little bit of Facebook. Hey, we're playing a show at whatever. But then I had the cancer, and then I got this neuropathy from my kidney surgery because I had kidney cancer too, which was a super fun one. And they put me on this neuropathy medicine. Well, it turns out this neuropathy medicine is also an antidepressant. And it also is why I talk so much fucking more than I did like 10 years ago. Like,
you're like, wow, I didn't even know I was depressed.
and so like about 3 weeks into taking this, I'm like uncomfortable and in pain, and I can't breathe because I just finished radiation and I have a giant tumor in my lung. But I'm just like, hey, life's so good. All right. And then I started making these dumb videos. And then so I noticed that people had like 5 or 6 second attention span. So
that's about where we're at.
Just pop on real quick, say something stupid, get off, and that's it.
You do it masterfully, though. I mean,
it's taking a lot of practice. It takes a lot of, it's super silly when you first start talking to your phone. I'm talking to my phone. Holy shit.
How many views are these getting? Like, do 10,000 people watch these?
Oh, it depends. I don't know if you saw the one where Dennis and I are playing and this guy walks in off the street.
It's on my list. Go,
like
please.
1 million. Like that one, like it went so far in the Facebook Reels world that people were just throwing so much hate at me. Like, I don't blame them for taking that money. Yeah. Like calling us terrible musicians.
Oh my God.
And it's like, I don't blame him. If I had to listen to that, I'd want my money back too.
I never would have expected in a million years that you became the bad guy in that video. So for anybody listening who hasn't seen this video, Wayne and what was your partner's name?
Dennis Harden.
They're playing in a bar, and a guy just walks right up in the middle of a song and snatches some money out of the tip jar, and then he kind of holds it up to you like, I'm taking this. What the fuck are you going to do about it? And I absolutely adored your response because you didn't miss a beat. Your partner looked a little put off, and he was like, what are we going to do? And you just started singing the guy out the door. Have you always been just unflappable?
I guess so. Yeah. I'm best under pressure, really. I'm terrible, like waiting around. Waiting around is boring. Give me a little pressure, and that's where I shine. I don't get nervous about stuff or performing or doing that. And the big picture of this guy is where we were playing there was just homeless encampments all around. The guy was obviously mentally ill, very dirty, living on the street, And so to me, it wasn't that big of a deal.
It didn't bother you. He needed it more than you did.
It wasn't that big. It's not like an ass-kicking situation or something like that. Sometimes that might be an ass-kicking situation.
For some people, yeah, I would say so. But I think that the way you reacted, it turned it into an even bigger positive. Like now 1 million people saw you playing in that bar. Whereas if you had like stop and punch that guy in the face, maybe only 1,000 people would have seen you playing in that bar.
Or 1 million people would think I was an asshole.
Well, you might have been an asshole. I don't know. There's a conversation to be had there about whether or not that guy deserved to have his ass kicked. And
then we kept on playing, and actually Uche, the guy who owns the Artichoke, stopped him, and he's a big guy, and talked to him real casual. He's like, he knows he's one of the regulars that pops in there
and steals money from the chip bar.
So everything worked out. It was fine, but yeah, making silly videos it's kind of fun. This world is absurd. So if you can't laugh about it, you're going to cry about it. Right? If I got like 5 seconds of funny stuff, why not share it?
Do these get monetized? Like, does Facebook send you a check for being a popular reel maker?
No, but I keep seeing this thing on top saying monetize your. They keep trying to tell me so maybe I should, but then I just feel weird if I get some weird blue check mark by my name. I'll be like, oh, that's too much.
That's how you know you've made it, man.
That's too much. But maybe I'll investigate that. I do need money.
Well, the Dylan's thing didn't work out.
No.
That was how long did you work at Dylan's?
I worked there for like 2 weeks, and I loved it. in so many ways. I love the kids I was working with. I like the fast-pacedness of it. I liked bagging groceries even and being a cashier. Just my body did not love it.
Sure.
And
was there any big moment where you just, have you ever seen The Wrestler with Mickey Rourke?
I have not. I'm way behind on movies.
I'm going to spoil the shit out of it right now, but
Okay,
it's
go ahead.
it's like 20 years old. He's a wrestler, like metal chair.
Oh, like WWE?
Yeah,
or
exactly. He's not a famous one, just like a
all-star wrestling.
yeah. And he's getting old and he can't do it anymore. And there's a scene where he goes and works at the grocery store. And then he's like behind the meat counter slicing meat. And one day he's just like, you know what? Fuck this. And he just hits the blade on the meat slicer and sprays blood everywhere.
Oh my God.
Just going just to cause a scene. And so it's like, I don't know. I always really identified with that where he's like, this is who I am. And I can go work at the grocery store, but I'm still going to be me at the end of the day. And so I kind of envisioned you like, I don't know, getting drunk behind the meat counter and yelling at an old lady or something.
No, I didn't yell at any old ladies. I had a real good time all the time. And then actually a secret shopper came in and gave me a 5 out of 5 stars.
And then do they like give you an
award,
holiday ham for that or something?
They did not, but I did get a letter and an award and a little pin with a shopping cart. I was thinking about putting on a guitar strap. I don't know which guitar yet.
The most popular one, the one you like best, obviously.
Yeah, maybe my Les Paul. Yeah.
What is that Les Paul? Tell me about it. I'm a fan of those guitars.
It's a 98 Les Paul studio, not custom. I don't know. It's
Special.
1998 Les Paul.
You buy it new in 98? Does it have a story?
I've had it about 10 years.
Okay.
No, it doesn't really have a story.
I see you playing it a lot. It's a real sharp instrument.
It's nice.
I like that tuxedo print,
Yeah.
the black with the white pick guard. That's a good.
It's a good guitar. It's my main electric guitar.
What's your main acoustic guitar?
Right now it's my Martin D18.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I've been writing everything on. I do have this Eastman that I love, this acoustic Eastman that I love. This guitar is just, but I'm writing everything on this Martin. I want it to sound Martin-ish.
Okay. That's kind of the folk music standard, right?
Yeah, I wouldn't know if these are
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to.
I don't know what they are. They're kind of country. They're country. I mean, there's songs by me.
Well, let's delve right down that path. So you've alluded to now, got drunk, fell down, and broke my heart, and now you're working on new stuff on a Martin. When do we get to hear this music?
I would say summer of 26.
6 months.
Yeah. I'm gonna continue writing. I'm not doing anything except I've got one show to play in December. All I'm doing in December is I walk on my treadmill because I have to walk like 4 or 5 miles a day. I got to keep my lung in shape, and I got to keep in shape for shows and stuff. Then I usually practice singing about an hour a day.
What's that involve?
That involves me getting out my laptop and just like requesting songs for myself or whatever, and just like playing old country songs. I'll play Willie song, Roger Miller song, a Loretta Lynn song, whatever. Just whatever I think of next, and just pull them up and just sing them. And
but specifically thinking about your voice, like you're playing when you do this as well.
I'm playing guitar, yeah.
But you're not focused on that. You're just banging out chords.
Yeah, I can just play guitar. It's just like I read through these tablatures or whatever. Just read, classical music players, when they go through a song, they call it a read or whatever. Mm-hmm. That's what I'm doing. I'm just go on the internet, I read through these songs, sing them and play them. And that's somehow how I find like, oh, that's a really good one for me to cover. Like the wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald. I just figured out the other day that's a good one for me to sing. Also, the Moody Blues, Nights in White Satin. That's a good one for me to sing. But
your objective when you're doing this is
I'm exercising my lungs and exercising my voice. Yeah.
And are these the videos that you share online where you say, I'm gonna I'm going to go live and sing every country song I can think of. Is that part of this?
That's what those live highlights are. When I go on TikTok, like I've got like a little crowd that tunes in, and they know how to request for me. Like I tried it on Facebook and they don't understand yet. But like on TikTok, these people watch me play and they know my musical veins. Uh-huh. And so then they're like, Roger Miller, this or that. And like, so, okay. Dolly Parton.
What's the weirdest request you ever got from one of those that you tried to fulfill?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe Jay Giles' Freeze Frame.
That's a pretty weird acoustic song.
Turns out it's a great acoustic song. It's a really good acoustic song. See, and that's why I do that. And then I find out, well, holy shit, Freeze Frames.
Put it on the list.
And so there's a couple of people when I'm doing my live streams on there, well, instead of Freebird, they go Freeze Frame. And that's the joke. So anyway, that's kind of fun. You know, I know it seems silly, but those little live streams have been instrumental, so to speak, in me building up my voice again, learning a ton of new songs this year. Like, we've got a whole slew of new covers that I've been playing and I found out that are good for me to sing. And because I was so focused, like when I got out of surgery, I sang that night.
Wow.
Like in ICU. With
one lung.
Yeah, in ICU, I sang just to see if I was going to, this is the only thing I was terrified of not being able to sing after the surgery. And I could sing. And so this whole year has been a shift of, I've always been a singer, but it's been a shift of how important the singing is to the song. Like the vocals are everything to the song. It
is the singer, not the song.
Yeah. And, like concentrating on writing good songs written in regards of, with the idea that I'm going to sing them, not just I sing this song, like I'm singing this song, like I'm delivering it to you. I'm bringing you this new emotion in my voice that I did not know I had before when I still had two lungs. I didn't know I had this emotion. I didn't know I had this range. Like I'm singing higher than ever. I'm singing lower than ever. First, when I got done with my surgery, I didn't have any low notes at all because I've got just this little square of lung left up here on my right lung. And then I have the full lung, which is growing like by 15, 20% bigger than it was.
I had no idea that would happen.
Lungs can grow.
That's incredible.
Yes. And they don't regenerate, but they can get bigger. So I still have some emphysema, but I'm at no evidence of disease. That's fantastic. But anyway, back to the singing. So I'm focused on the song, of course, but how the song just supports the vocal. So anyway, that's what I'm thinking about with singing. And that's been because since this surgery, it was like, I was so afraid of losing my voice that now, it's the biggest thing musically for me.
A huge celebration.
Exactly. And I've been playing guitar for 45 years. I've been singing for 45 years, but I haven't been, really working on singing as much as I should have been years ago. It was just a thing I could do. Yeah, I can sing. And then, you sing at practice and you sing with your band. You sing at shows. But you need to be singing by yourself all the time. You need to be practicing that all the time. So I've worked on that a lot. And so after I wandered away from the original thought, I've come back to it.
And that's what this is the whole long form thing is about, man. Welcome back.
I'm spending December walking on my treadmill and writing songs. And we're just going to have a little Christmas this year. And that's my whole December is staying in the house, doing my steps, playing my guitar, and writing new songs to prepare so that January I can start getting a plan to record and to make a record and what I'm going to do this time as far as distribution or getting this out into the world.
And when you say make a plan for recording, do you have a spot already where you're like, well, I absolutely would go to this studio, or I would absolutely record this at my house, or what's that plan look like?
I have 2 dream places that I want to go. And I'm also not writing for just one person. One, I want to do, at the very least, WG EP, where it's just me and an acoustic guitar, because I'm going to be booking a lot of more solo shows, and I want just, especially in this day of AI and all this business, I want a not supernatural, like an
super space natural,
incredibly natural, just acoustic EP or album, depending on how many songs I finish up with. So I want that. I also would like to do a couple of songs with Split Lip Rayfield. There's a couple of songs in this batch that just solid. Like I whipped them out the other night in practice, and the boys fucking laid it down. And it was like, yes. Once we get to the point where Eric's harmonies are coming up and we got this going on, these songs are dangerous. This is more classic Split Lip stuff on the way. I'm super proud of a couple of these songs.
That's exciting. How long has it been since you guys put out something real fresh?
It's been maybe 7 years.
Okay.
It's been 7 years probably, yeah.
Well, that gives people something to look forward to.
Yeah, and we'll see how it goes. At the very least, I'm going to get my WG solo recordings in plan, and I got a couple of different places I'd like to go. And then also I've got the WG band, and that band is growing. The sound of that band is pretty witchy.
And who plays in that with you?
That's me, Jamie Brigham on vocals, and then we got Garrett Brigham, her husband, on guitar, Verlin Deemy on drums, and Kelby Kimberlin on bass. And it's just a rock band. We can do a lot of different stuff, but what really sounds the best is when we're rocking. And it's super fun, like a big guitar explosion, big, powerful vocals. Jamie has big, powerful vocals. Together, we sound like brother, sister, rock and roll.
I think big guitar explosion really describes a lot of what you do. And, I kind of wanted to ask, do you ever think about like slowing down? Don't you think it's kind of rude to the rest of us for you to play so shit hot?
Well, I'm really finally starting to get somewhere with it.
I think you might figure this thing out, man.
Guitar is just so much fun to play. But these new songs are really focused on the voice. So there's going to be some hot shit playing from Eric, I'm sure, from me, from Jeff, from the WG band, whoever. We're going to do some hot shit playing.
I believe that. You and Eric together really, you play off of one another in an incredible way that frankly, it just makes me want to stop playing.
We have played so much together that we don't have to think about it, and I love playing with Eric and singing, I like singing harmony on top of Eric's songs. I love singing harmonies. That's a lot of fun. But, we like to get down. We both like to get down. So
I love to watch. Love seeing it. Well, man, I think I'm at the end of what you might call pre-prepared long form questions. I want to move into now something that I've created all on my own. This is a very original idea. It's called the lightning round.
Okay.
And so when I set out to make this podcast, I had all kinds of different ideas and inputs, from my friends and family and from Stella. And one of the sections that I wanted to include in my interviews is like public comment, questions from, and so you saw I tagged you on Facebook and I said, if you got the opportunity to interview Wayne Gottstine, what would you ask him? And I got more laugh reacts than I did anything else. I don't know if people were laughing at the idea that I might be interviewing you or if they were just the question on its face is funny. I don't know, but I didn't get enough questions to put together a audience questionnaire. So I've included the couple that I did get in this other section that I've dubbed the lightning round.
Okay.
I'm going to kick out these questions. You answer in as many or as few words as you see fit. No explanation necessarily necessary, and no follow-up questions will be asked. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
If you had a superpower, what would it be?
To speak every language and to understand them.
You and I are both gardeners. What's your favorite flower?
You know, it's really simple flower, but I've been growing a lot of zinnias lately because they attract a lot of butterflies and bees. Although I do have quite a few different flowers. I'm going with zinnias today.
All right, zinnias it is. Tom wants to know if you're related to Damon Wayans.
We are distant cousins.
Kelly wants to know what's the best soup.
You know, I like a chicken tortilla or a good straightforward potato soup if it's done right.
All right. Potato's one of my favorites too. What's your favorite pinball machine?
You know, I love the Black Knight. It's an old school game. It was the first multi-ball game that I experienced. I did crush Harlem Globetrotters one night.
Okay.
I have a high score on that. So I don't think anybody's ever beat me.
That's one I've never even played.
Jeff used to have one. It's from the 70s.
We're going to have a whole nother episode where we just talk about pinball machines. 'Cause I didn't think about this being a lightning round question. I got to keep moving. What is one song that you turn off immediately as soon as it comes on the radio or in your car or whatever?
Every breath you take.
What is one defunct Lawrence institution that you would bring back?
Paradise Cafe.
That was before my time. People, I hear that from a lot of
they had a great biscuits and gravy there.
Final lightning round question.
All right.
Will you play us out with a song?
Oh, you bet.
All right.
Everybody's going home and the sun is long since down. Well, train is out and through the night and you're rolling up this town. Smoke another cigarette and watch the stars go by. Sit yourself right next to me and bathe in the moonlight. I see two eyes shining in the night. I just don't know how I did it right. You can have another dance and I will sing my song. Or we may never sleep again, stay up all night long. Jupiter is in the east and Saturn now he's gone. The birds are stirring in the trees, they're waiting for the dawn. I see two eyes shining in the night. I just don't know how I did it right. I see two eyes shining in the night. I just don't know how I did it right.
All right. Thanks for that, man. What was the song again?
That was Two Eyes Shine. It was on the Split Lip Rayfield album, On My Way.
All right. Well, man, Wayne, I really appreciate you coming by today to talk with us. And thanks again for being the first guest on my little project here.
Thanks for having me. I had a hell of a good time. Anything
big coming up in your world that you want the listeners of this, however many they may be, to know about?
Oh, there's always something going on. So just keep your eyes peeled. You can follow me on Instagram, TikTok, Threads, Facebook, whatever. And stay in touch there.
You got a show at the Bottleneck coming up, right?
Oh, yeah. New Year's Eve, the show at the Bottleneck with Split Lip Rayfield, the Dwayne Brothers, Dead Man Flats. That's going to be fun.
All right. Well, we will see you there to close out the year. Best wishes to you going forward, Wayne, and thanks again for coming.
Thank you so much.